my wife started receiving flowers every Friday. No note. No delivery info. Just a single red rose. I thought it was sweet, until I caught her crying in the kitchen. She whispered, "I think it's him." Her ex had died in a fire 2 years earlier. But when I pulled the security footage, I saw someone drop the flowers at 3 a.m., wearing a hoodie. When I froze the frame, the hoodie had a fire department logo. The same one her ex wore. The same one I donated to Goodwill. 2 streets over. At his mother's house. Our neighbor. My wife and I live in a small house in St. Charles, Missouri. We've been married 2 years. Things were good. Not perfect, but good. She's a nurse, I work in maintenance for a trucking company. We have a routine, and it worked for us. But about 6 months ago, something started that I can't explain. Every Friday morning, like clockwork, a single red rose would be on our doorstep. No note. No wrapping. Just one rose. At first, I thought maybe it was from a patient she helped or maybe a coworker being funny. I asked her about it after the second week. She kind of laughed and said maybe she had a secret admirer. I smiled, but something about how she said it didn't sit right. She wasn't excited. She looked off. But I let it go. I didn't want to be the jealous husband. Third week, the rose was there again. Same place. Right in the center of the doormat. Still no note. I looked at her when she picked it up and smiled, but her eyes didn't match her face. She looked sad. Not like someone getting a sweet surprise. Friday after that, I woke up early for work. Came downstairs. She was in the kitchen, standing at the sink, holding the rose in one hand, and her other hand was gripping the counter like she was steadying herself. She was crying. Not loud. Just quiet tears, running down her cheeks while she stared out the window like she wasn't really there. I said her name. She jumped like I scared her. "What's wrong?" I asked. She shook her head. "Nothing. I'm fine. You're crying." "I'm just tired." I looked at the rose. "Is it about the flowers?" She looked at it for a long time, then whispered, "I think it's him." That's when everything started feeling wrong. "Who?" I asked. She kept her eyes down. "Jason. Jason. Her ex. He died in a house fire. He was a firefighter. They were together for years before she met me. I only knew bits and pieces. She told me he died trying to save a family. It was tragic. I never pushed her to talk about it. She didn't bring him up much. I just stood there staring. "Sarah, he's gone." "I know," she whispered. "But this feels like something he'd do. Something he did do. When we were together, every Friday, he'd bring me a rose. Just one. Always said it was his reminder that he was lucky to have me. I didn't know that. She'd never told me. And now," she swallowed. "It's the same. Same time. Same day. Same flower. It feels like him." I didn't know what to say. I hugged her. Told her it had to be someone else. Maybe a weird coincidence. But in the back of my head, something was screaming that this was not right. That weekend, I checked our Ring camera. Nothing. It didn't pick up anything at all. I figured whoever it was must be coming way early. So I went out to the shed and grabbed my old trail cam. I used to hunt before I moved to the city. Set it up by the mailbox, aimed it at the front steps. I told her I just wanted to see who was doing it. She didn't fight me on it. That Friday, 3:07 a.m., I got the alert. Someone was there. The footage made my blood run cold. It was a man. Medium build, wearing a dark hoodie. Face hidden. He moved slow, careful. Walked straight up, bent down, and placed the rose gently on the doormat. Then he turned and walked off. One frame, just one, caught his hoodie in the porch light. There was a fire department logo on the back. I froze the frame. Looked at it 10 times. It was the same logo Jason wore. The same exact one I'd seen on his old hoodie, the one Sarah kept folded in a box in the attic. Last year, I'd found it while we were reorganizing. She wasn't home, and I didn't think it meant anything. I donated it to Goodwill. The Goodwill 2 streets over. Main Street. Right down the block from where Jason's mother still lived. Our neighbor. I didn't tell Sarah right away. I needed to be sure. So I walked over to that Goodwill. Asked one of the clerks if they ever kept track of who bought what. They didn't. But I stood outside for a long time after that. Just looking in the direction of Jason's mother's house. 3 houses down from us. We see her every now and then. Older woman. Kind smile. Keeps to herself. I always thought she was sweet. When I finally told Sarah what I found, her face went white. "I don't think it's her," I said. She's in her 70s. That man on the footage, he's younger. Moves like someone in their 30s, maybe younger. She didn't say anything for a long time. Then she said, Jason had a younger brother. Eric. I just stared at her. She kept talking, but it was like her voice was coming from far away. He was always trouble. Fights. Drugs. Got arrested a few times. Jason used to worry about him all the time. Where is he now? I asked. She shook her head. Last I heard, he disappeared after Jason died. Didn't show up to the funeral. His mom said he left town. Did you know him well? She nodded slowly. We met a few times. He always gave me this weird vibe. Like he was too intense. Stared too long. Never smiled. I had a sick feeling in my stomach. What if he didn't leave? I said. She didn't answer. We didn't sleep that night. Next morning, I took the footage and drove to the police station. They said they'd look into it. I'm not sure they really believed me. But I know what I saw. And now, I've got questions I can't let go of. Why is Jason's brother leaving flowers at my door? Why now, after all this time? And how did he get that hoodie? Was it just about the hoodie? Or is he trying to mess with Sarah? With me? Something tells me this isn't just about flowers. And I think it's only the beginning. The Friday after I went to the police, there was no Rose. Nothing on the porch. Nothing on the camera. It was the first time in months that it didn't happen. I should have felt relieved. Instead, I felt worse. Sarah noticed too. She stood at the front door for a few seconds longer than usual, just staring down at the empty mat. That night, she barely touched her food. We sat in silence through most of dinner. I tried to make small talk, but she wasn't there. Her mind was somewhere else. I don't think it's over, she said finally. I nodded. Me either. I didn't sleep much. I kept checking the cameras on my phone. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3:14 a.m., nothing. But when I woke up and opened the front door the next morning just to be sure, there was an envelope. Plain white, sealed. No name. I didn't call Sarah. I opened it alone. Inside was a folded note, written in rough handwriting. Just 6 words. You don't know what she did. I stared at it for a long time. I put it in a drawer. Didn't tell Sarah. I didn't know how she'd take it. But all weekend, I couldn't stop thinking about it. What the hell was that supposed to mean? The next Friday, the rose came back. Same as before. Right at 3 a.m. The trail cam caught it again. Same guy. Same hoodie. Moved just like before. But this time, after placing the rose, he stood at the door. Just stood there. For 20 full seconds. Then he leaned in close, face still hidden, and dropped something else on the ground. Another envelope. Inside, a photo. It was Sarah. Younger. Maybe 6-7 years ago. She looked different, happier, almost, but tired. She was sitting outside a hospital. And next to her, Jason. He looked pale. Frail. Like he was recovering from something. But they were holding hands. There was writing on the back of the photo. Ask her about the baby. My heart sank. I didn't even ask her. I just walked out the door, got in the truck, and drove 2 streets over. Jason's mother answered the door in her robe. Her face changed when she saw me. Eric's not here, she said. I didn't ask. She opened the screen. I know what you're going to say. I've seen him too. The flowers. The walking around at night. He's not right. What happened to him? She sighed. He was never stable. But after Jason died? Something broke in him. Why the flowers? I don't know, she said. But I think it has to do with what happened between Jason and Sarah before he died. I paused. What do you mean? She hesitated. You should ask your wife. I left shaking. That night, I asked Sarah straight out. What happened between you and Jason before he died? Her face went white. She didn't speak for almost a minute. Then she sat down and told me everything. I was pregnant, she said. Jason and we were trying. It finally happened. I found out a few months before the fire. What happened? I lost it, she whispered. A week before he died. I never told him. He thought everything was fine. And Eric? He found out later. After Jason died. He was angry. He blamed me. Said I robbed Jason of being a father. She started crying. I couldn't take it. I told him to stay away from me. I blocked him. I never thought I'd see him again. We didn't talk much after that. But now the pieces were fitting together. Eric blamed her. Maybe even blamed me for being with her now. But then things got worse. Way worse. The next Friday, there was no rose. Just a hole in our backyard. About 2 feet wide. 2 feet deep. Fresh dirt scattered around it. In the center? The old sonogram picture. Torn in half. Sarah screamed when she saw it. And I knew then this wasn't just about grief. Eric wasn't mourning. He was warning us. After the hole, I installed 2 more cameras, one aimed at the backyard, one hidden by the back fence. I also started sleeping with a crowbar beside the bed. Sarah was shaken, barely talking, jumping at every sound. She wouldn't go outside alone. We didn't call the police this time. I'd lost faith in them. The first report went nowhere. They treated it like a prank. But this wasn't a prank. This was personal. On Monday, I decided to check the cars. I don't know why. Just had a gut feeling. Sarah's car was parked in the driveway. I went underneath, flashlight in hand, checking the undercarriage. And there it was. A cheap, old Nokia burner phone. Taped up behind the back bumper. I pried it off and took it inside. Battery was still in. Turned it on. 1 contact saved. Just the letter E. A string of text sat in the inbox, all one-sided. E. You're lying to him. E. I told you I'd make him see. E. Every rose is a reminder. E. He deserves to know the truth. Then one message that made my blood freeze. E. Next Friday. He'll know everything. I went straight to Sarah. Showed her the phone. She looked like she'd been slapped. I didn't know that was there, she said. I stared at her hard. You sure about that? She nodded. But her hands were shaking. He's watching us, Sarah, I said. He's been watching this whole time. This isn't about Jason. This is about you. What else haven't you told me? She backed up like I hit her. I didn't hide anything else, she said. I swear. But I wasn't sure anymore. And Friday was coming. That night I stayed up. Didn't sleep. Kept a bat by the door. Checked every window. Around 2:55 a.m., I saw something move on the back camera. I ran outside with a flashlight. Nothing at the back fence. I swept the whole yard. But something caught my eye near the shed. Footprints. Deep, heavy ones in the soft dirt. Fresh. Leading around the side of the house. Back to the driveway. And right under Sarah's car. He had come back for the phone. I checked the footage again. 2:53 a.m., same hoodie. Same walk. But this time, he stayed longer. Almost 5 minutes. Circling the house. Watching the windows. Then he walked to the front porch and left a box. Small. Wrapped in black paper. Inside? A VHS tape. No label. Who even has a VHS player anymore? I didn't. But Sarah did. Up in a dusty box, in the attic, she had Jason's old things. His tapes. His photos. And one old VCR player. We plugged it in. And what played? Was Jason. Alive. Smiling. Talking to the camera like he was making a video journal. He looked tired. But happy. I want this on tape, he said. In case something happens. In case I don't come home one day. Sarah gripped my hand tight. He kept talking. Talking about the fire station. His brother. And then, her. She's pregnant, he said, grinning. She doesn't know I know yet. But I saw the test. I was putting away laundry, and there it was. I'm not mad. I'm just scared. We've had problems, but I think this will fix things. He looked away for a second. But part of me wonders if she still wants this. If she still wants me. Sometimes I think she's already gone. He looked back at the camera. If anything happens to me, I just want the truth to come out. The tape cut out. Just like that. Sarah was crying again. I could feel my pulse in my teeth. I didn't know he saw the test, she whispered. I wasn't sure I wanted to keep it. We were in a bad place. And the miscarriage? She looked at me, then away. I was scared. I panicked. I did something. I went to the clinic. I didn't tell him. I sat back in my chair stunned. You had an abortion. She nodded. I couldn't do it. He had so much darkness. His brother, the pressure, the fights, we weren't okay. And I didn't want to bring a baby into that. The room was dead silent. She whispered. I never meant to lie. I buried it. Like it never happened. I stared at the black box sitting on our table. But Eric had known. He must have found the tape. He must have put it all together and decided I had to know. But why now? Why after all this time? Unless he wasn't just trying to hurt her. Unless he thought he was avenging his brother. After the tape, I didn't see Sarah the same way. She lied. Not just to Jason, but to me too. About what really happened. About what kind of pain she carried around without ever telling me. And still, she didn't deserve what was happening to her. None of us did. That next Friday, I didn't wait. I parked my truck down the block and sat in the dark, engine off, watching the street. 2:47 a.m., there he was. Same hoodie. Same walk. But this time, instead of heading to our house, he crossed the yard and slipped between the backyards toward the woods behind the neighborhood. I followed. Kept my distance. Stayed behind trees. The woods were thick, dark, and cold. He walked for about 10 minutes. No flashlight. Like he knew every step. Then he stopped in a small clearing. Pulled out his phone. Looked around. I stepped out from behind the tree. "You really want to do this?" I said. He didn't flinch. Didn't even look surprised. "You saw the tape," he said. "I saw it." She never told him. He died thinking she loved him. She did love him, I said. He looked at me. Eyes hollow. "Then why'd she kill his kid?" I didn't answer. I didn't know how. He walked closer. "She ruined him," he said. He stopped sleeping. He used to think she was cheating. Thought she was seeing someone else at work. He never told her. Just kept it bottled up. I watched it eat him alive. "She didn't cheat," I said. "No. She did worse." He took a step closer. "You think you know her? You don't. You married a liar." "I married someone who made a hard choice," I said. "You think Jason would want you doing this? Terrorizing her? Me? You think that's what he wanted?" "I think he deserved better," Eric said. Then he reached into his coat. "I thought it was a weapon." I tensed. But it was another envelope. He dropped it at my feet. "Last piece," he said. "You'll see what I mean." He turned and walked away. I let him go. Didn't follow. Didn't call the cops. I just stood there shaking. At home, I opened the envelope. Inside was a USB stick. On it was a recording. Audio only. Jason's voice again. Sounded like a voicemail. "Hey, Eric. If anything happens to me, I want you to look after Mom. And if Sarah ever comes to you, be kind. She's not perfect. Neither am I. But she's not the villain. We both made mistakes." Then a long pause. "I love her. Even if it ends. Even if we fall apart. I still love her." That was it. I stared at the wall for a long time. Jason didn't want revenge. Eric turned his pain into a mission. He created a ghost story out of guilt and loss. And I let it infect me. That night, I told Sarah everything. I told her I knew about the abortion, the fear, the pain she never shared. She cried. "I didn't want to lose you too," she said. "You almost did," I told her. I called the police the next day. Gave them everything. The footage. The audio. The phone. They found Eric's prints all over it. They arrested him a week later, after he came back to his mom's house. He didn't resist. Didn't even speak. Just stared at the ground like he was already gone. The flowers stopped. The holes stopped. The fear faded slowly. But something between Sarah and I broke. Not out of hate. Just truth. We tried to make it work. We went to therapy. We talked more than we ever had before. But sometimes, too much damage can't be undone. 6 months later, we filed for divorce. I moved to Kansas City. She stayed in St. Charles. We don't talk anymore. But sometimes, late at night, I still think about that rose. Just one. Left by a broken man trying to make sense of someone else's choices. And all the pain that never really went away.